Hey everybody, we're doing a DIY head wrap tutorial today. My fabric is from ankaraandlace.co and the link is in the description box. I chose to fold my fabric in half because I like to have a very full head wrap. I have a very short haircut and so I don't have the hair to make the volume and to really make a really full knot when I tie my head wraps. And so I like to do my head wraps the way that I'm going to show you in this video. So I'm going to fold my fabric in half and I'm going to cut my fabric to the measurements of 22 by 72 inches. Now, if you have fabric that allows you to have that fullness with just one layer of fabric, then all you really need to do is just cut your fabric at 22 by 72, finish the raw edges on a serger, and you're done. But for those of you who want to do it like me, let's keep going. Okay, so let's go with 22 inches wide and 72 inches long. Now, I don't have enough space on my cutting table, so I'm just going to pull up some of that excess fabric that's hanging off the table there, about 10 inches, and then I'm going to cut across. So that gives me my 22 by 72. And if you're wondering why I'm not measuring, I actually can see the numbers on my cutting mat, and that's how I am able to look and see what I'm cutting, because I just have a cheat sheet and I love my cutting mat. So luckily for me, my fabric folded in half gives me just a touch over 22 or so inches. And so I'm just going to leave it as is. If you need to cut yours to get it down to the 22 inches, then go ahead and do that. So now that my fabric is folded already, I'm just simply going to slide my scissors in there and I'm going to cut that fold, and that way I will have two pieces. Now, since everything is already laying right sides together and it's already laying properly, you're just going to sew about a ½ inch down the sides, across one end, and down the side of the other end. You're going to leave one end of your fabric completely open so that you can turn it inside out. So go ahead and go to your sewing machine, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, basic straight stitching here, nothing fancy. Sewing up one side ½ inch, turning, turning, ½ inch. And I'm sewing just a little bit more on the other side with the selvage, as you can see, because I just don't want to have my selvage showing. Okay, now I have pressed my seam allowances, so go ahead and do that. So now we're working on sewing the open end of your head wrap. So on the right sides together, I'm sewing about a third of the way into the open end, and then I'm stopping. And then I'm going to scooch down about a third, just enough to have my hand squeeze through, and then I'm going to continue stitching. And this is sewing right sides together. The reason I didn't have you do this when you first stitched it together is because it's much easier to slip this whole thing on your ironing board to press your seam allowances. Then go ahead and press those seam allowances as best as you can. To make sure that you have clean edges on all of your corners of your head wrap, just take some scissors and you want to cut off the corner of all of the ends. This just helps you to be able to press it down and have a nice crisp corner. And now you can stick your hand through the hole that you just made and pull your head wrap right sides out. Now I like to go back and just press everything down to make it nice and crisp. And for the hole where you stuck your hand through, you'll see that your seam allowances are already folded down. So just go ahead and press it like that. It's going to look really nice. And the last step is just to close up that hole, and you have two choices here. You can go ahead and slip stitch if you want to hand sew it yourself. For the sake of time and just the fact that I just don't feel like it, I'm just going to sew a stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of that opening. And I'm just going to close it up that way. It's nice, quick, and easy. And when you're wearing your head wrap, no one's going to see that stitching anyway. But if you want to take these and sell these, then I would suggest that you slip stitch those for a nice, clean, and professional finish for your customers. And you're all done. You have got a nice, beautiful, full head wrap that'd be nice and warm for these upcoming cooler months. and all of your edges are nice and clean and finished and pressed, and you are ready to wear your head wrap. So I'm just going to show you a couple of ways that I like to do it. So I always tie my hair down with a scarf. I just grabbed my husband's because it was closest. And I'm just going to grab my head wrap and just fold it around. And this isn't super fancy. The beauty of these beautiful head wraps is that you can pretty much do anything to them and they're going to look awesome. And so this is the way that I like to wear mine most often. And the other knit scarf that I got from Target, I wear it like this often. So this is just the way that I like to do it when I am running out and running errands and I don't feel like getting my hair together or wearing one of my wigs. I simply just twist the ends and then I take those ends and tie them into a big beautiful knot at the top of my head. And then I just simply tuck the ends of the scarf under and I'm good to go. Another way that I like to wear it is to just simply tie knots into the ends until I can't anymore. That is even easier than the first method that I showed you. And so I simply just take the ends and I just pull them through and I just tie a loose knot to give myself a nice voluminous look. And I just keep tying the ends and then just tuck the, loose ends under and then that's it. You're ready to go. So I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial on how to make your own head wrap. Feel free to experiment however you would like to actually wear this beautiful headpiece, and I will see you on the next video.